All right, well, welcome back to the show. Let's talk about this, because this is good stuff. And also, as James indicated, I'm not really sure what to do about it. So there are a ton of good games going out. First of all, we have a lot of good games right now.
Yes.
Right? We're already playing a lot of good games. I like all the games that are like on the major fighting game stage. I think they're all really good. I guess not every one of those games is everybody's favorites, which is, of course, understandable. But there's already a lot of good stuff. And then, in the near future, some games coming out include, in May, Injustice 2 and Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator 2. In June, like, just a few days after, comes Tekken 7, finally coming to console, like a billion years later. Then Under Night, the new one, comes out in July, and Marvel Infinite comes out in September. So in this very short period of time, we have 5 new launches.
And USF2 in late May as well, someone pointed out in chat.
Of course, important to note. Also, Ultra Street Fighter 2.
You sound so excited about that. You sound so excited.
It's coming out. So that's what they did. So we'll see.
I mean, here's the crazy part: is like, you know, some people are like, play all of them, right? And I would love to, but that's not a valid solution for a lot of people out there because they can't buy all 5 games.
Right. So everybody has limitations, and whether yours
6
is
games, I should say, yeah.
Yeah, whether yours is that you can't buy all of them, or whether you just can't play all of them. I don't feel like anybody can really play all these games. I guess you can buy them if you can, whatever.
Right.
But like, even if I were to get all these games, I'm definitely not becoming like any kind of an expert.
ARMS is coming out.
ARMS! I'm actually excited about that game.
Have you watched that video yet?
Yeah, I did.
Dude,
I thought it looked cool.
That game, like when I found out you could punch their arms or hit their arms and like knock them away, like I was like, holy crap, this game is getting a lot more deep.
That actually is interesting,
yeah,
right?
I was like, this game is getting kind of deep.
There's a 7th game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. It's just impossible to play all of them. So, question is, what do you do about that? I don't know. Do you kick out some of the current games? Like, I don't know. Well, seriously, like,
I mean,
what
it's
do
like,
you do
so currently what we have Street Fighter 5, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, right?
Yeah.
We have King of Fighters.
Yeah.
14.
I mean, I guess some of them are replacements, and Tekken 7 is already in anyway.
Guilty Gear is going to be replaced by another Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
Tekken Tag 2 is going to get replaced by another Tekken.
Tekken 7's already at events, right?
Right.
Just on arcade. I guess Marvel 3 is going to get kicked out for Marvel Infinite. Right.
I mean, like, it would suck if that kind of happened because Marvel 3 is like super exciting right now. But yeah,
Agreed.
Blaze Blue.
Fully agree.
KI is out there.
Killer
right
Instinct.
now.
Great game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. This has been sort of something that has been developing. Of course, over the last several years, there have been so many more games than pre-2008.
Yeah.
That I feel like we've...
Mortal Kombat XL is still out there.
Oh,
is that going to get replaced by... Is it ready?
Oh, it's already dead. Yeah.
You just don't believe.
No, I have no belief at all. I am sure it's dead. I love the game. I wish it was not, but I'm sure it's dead.
Right. Okay.
So in the past, I mean, there have been periods where there have been like a ton of good games, but not like this many. I feel like this is pretty much unique in terms of how many good games are coming out at the same time.
Okay, here's the thing. This is definitely not unique in the terms of number of fighting games available to play at the same time. But we are in a different age where these games are actually balanced and competitive. Like, because games a long time ago, it's just like, here's your game, and you played it and you're like, holy crap, this is not balanced at all. And then you just dealt with it.
I guess that's a good point. In like Super Nintendo days, there were a ton of games, and they were almost all garbage.
Freaking fighting games, dude. There were so many fighting games. I remember DC had a fighting game, and it was still like, it was like Batman, Superman, and all those guys. And the thing about it is like, every fighting game copied Street Fighter, right? But in this game, you couldn't cancel a single normal move into a special. And if you don't realize how much that changed fighting games, that glitch that people found. Yeah. Because when we first played Street Fighter 2, no one did that. Yeah. That didn't exist, right? And so people were just doing roundhouse. Sure. Or short. Redizzy, and stuff like that. Guile, jab, 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 jab. Okay, now I got the redizzy. I mean, those are literally all we could do. But like,
what a game!
When people started finding out you can cancel thing, like you can't even imagine how much that changed everything. So when you play this crappy DC game, you couldn't cancel a single thing. I was just like, this game is garbage.
Yeah, it sounds like garbage.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. But you're right. Nowadays, effectively all the games, are good and balanced. Like, are they perfectly balanced? Maybe not, whatever. But they're, reasonably well balanced and competitive. In fact, I almost feel like that makes it tougher.
Yeah.
Because all these games are going to get, almost all those games are going to get updated. Definitely Street Fighter's getting updated. For sure Injustice is getting updated. Rev, I guess it's Rev 2, so like it's really just Rev that's being updated itself.
It already is an update.
It really is. Under Night, probably not. I mean, there might be like a new Under Night, but it's going to be 3 years from now.
You know what people said though? No, see, here's the thing, right? Under Night has to get a new version out pretty soon to make the console one outdated and basically sit in the arcade for like another 4 years, and then we'll finally get that one. So we're almost guaranteed a new Unio coming out soon.
Yeah, I feel like Marvel Infinite will probably get patches and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like that's probably the case. And then if games that are currently around are still around, then for sure KI is still going to get stuff. And, there's just a lot to follow. There's a lot to keep an eye on. It's not the case that you can like learn a game and then come back to it in 6 months. It's not the same anymore.
And we're doing a disservice here because we're not even talking about Melee and Smash Wii U.
That's true.
Which are out there, and they are an update of each other, but they're both still being played, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're quite different games.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there's just a lot to learn. Even if, I mean, look, always that has been the case to some extent because people learn how to play games better over time. So if you take some time off from a game and you come back, even if you remember all the things that you had known, you're still going to be out of it because you got to learn all the new things. But now it's that plus you have to learn what changed about the characters and the gameplay, and it's nice to be able to have balanced games and patches and that stuff for sure. But there's a chore aspect to it,
dude,
in my view. So it's going to be even tougher to play all these games simultaneously.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, for us as commentators, this is just.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've already thought that like the maximum that I can realistically expect to know and commentate reasonably well is 3, maybe 4.
Right.
I'm not sure if I can do 4, honestly.
Right. And the other games are all going to be just from commentary fundamentals, as was coined, basically, I think, by you and Sajam, right? Yeah. Commentary fundamentals.
Yeah, just keeping that solid ground game. Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
it is hard. And there's going to be a lot of decisions that have to be made about which games get played. Evo lineup, for example, is always tough to choose, but
here's the interesting thing. I'm going to go in Grandpa story mode again, right?
Do it.
So when Street Fighter 2 first came out, everyone played Street Fighter 2. And it was great because everyone had to get good or go away, basically.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Because you just didn't have a choice. So by the end, like, everybody playing Street Fighter 2 was actually really good. After Street Fighter 2's popularity, that's when Mortal Kombat came out,
right.
Fatal Fury came out, World Heroes then came out, and then we had Samurai Showdown, Killer Instinct, Virtua Fighter. All these fighting games came out, right? Yeah. What that ended up started doing was diluting the player base, right? So it became this one thing where it was just like, I can't win at Street Fighter anymore, but I can win at KI. Street Fighter sucks. KI is the best fighting game. And so it kind of diluted the player base. You know what I mean? So I'm scared, could that potentially happen here? And look, the fighting game community already has to deal with enough garbage of cliquism, like, oh, your game sucks, blah, blah, Smash is not a fighting game, oh, anime players are weird, and stuff like that. Like, we already have to deal with that crap, which I think is garbage, but, like, I just, with all these games out here, I just don't think it can sustain that way. Like, I really just don't think, and some games are going to get left behind, and it's
I think
sad
that's probably
to know.
True.
It's sad to know, and so I'm wondering if we might be hitting a repeat. Like, people are rumoring now about a P5A, right? Because Persona 5 is existing, and in fact, I don't remember if I have a link for this, but they said that so there was a Persona music game that came out, and then P4A, right? apparently, like, the websites for a P5 version of the music game and the fighting game were, like, reserved. Now, that always means nothing because, it could just be them just holding it just in case, right? But, like, maybe that does mean something, so...
Yeah, I hear you. There's a lot of stuff. From my end, I think... for sure I'm going to play Street Fighter and commentate. Street Fighter and Injustice. Because those are my two, I guess, favorite devs pretty consistently. I don't know about the rest. Like, I would love to keep playing and commentating Killer Instinct because I really enjoy it.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be viable. I would love to learn Tekken again because it's been like a decade.
Yeah, I would like to learn it because I just never learned Tekken.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to actually finally get to know how to play that game. Absolutely.
I think that sounds really cool. Already, I've made the decision that I'm not learning Guilty Gear because I honestly, if it was Street Fighter, even if it was like Street Fighter and Injustice and Guilty Gear and nothing else was out, for sure I would play Gear because it looks like a really fun game. It looks really interesting. I get it. I just don't think that I can realistically spend the time on it to learn it while also playing and learning the other things that I also want to do. So I'm already in the situation of I'm not paying attention to this one, even though I probably would enjoy it.
It's funny because like Guilty Gear is probably my version of your Injustice. Like I definitely want to keep going with Guilty Gear. It's just whether the anime community will accept me as a commentator, right? That's always the tough part there.
Believe me, man, I hear you. I know how it is.
But Injustice is another one I want to keep up with.
Sure, you played Injustice 1.
Yeah, but it was the patches that...
I remember.
The patches drove me out of that. Even 100%. MKX, like, someone was like, I was talking about it, and someone was like, well, I have these guides. I'm like, dude, I had this pretty sick Ferrotor when the game first came out. And I was just like, I couldn't keep up with the game because it just kept getting patched, right? And then MVCI, I definitely want to do commentary for that game,
for sure.
But then Uniel ST, like, how can I not do commentary for that game? And
I love the previous Thunder Night. It was great.
And I was even talking to Meta Abe and Gibby about, like, learning KOF because they say they need more KOF commentators and stuff like that. And there's just too many.
There are.
There were just too many. So
I guess realistically, I expect that my stable will be Street Fighter V, Injustice 2, Marvel, and then something else, man. I don't know. Something of Tekken or KI if it's still around, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Under Night. I don't know, man. We'll see. It's going to be a tough decision, but I guess it's better to have this than to have what we had 10 years ago, which was nothing. Right? You had to import anything that was happening.
To CVS 2... it was CVS... God, what was that weird upgraded version of CVS?
Oh, for the GameCube or something?
It was Dreamcast. No, there was the Dreamcast one. There was CVS. Then there was this weird one where they added Dan and Joe... to CVS, and then CVS 2 came out.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, there was this weird, like, CVS upper. I don't remember what it was called.
Never even heard of that.
Yeah.
I mean...
No, not EO. Not EO.
Okay.
Yeah, it might have been Pro. Yeah, I think it was Pro.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Back then, basically we only played old games with the exception of Gear and Tekken, but you had to import Guilty Gears.
Yeah.
And Tekken's came out like pretty rarely. So.
I remember at EVO, like the Guilty Gear community had to band together to bring like 4 Japanese PS2s so we could play the updated version of Guilty Gear because no one wanted to play the most current one released in America. So basically, Wizards like, we don't have access to like all, and the community got together, and even back then, 4 consoles was enough to like try to run the tournament, which is crazy, but. Oh, man.
Anyway, we'll see how it all goes.
Yeah, what if that Fighting EX Slayer game does come out? That new EX game, dude.
Yeah. Or what if...
Eternal Champions with the chicken and the senator come back?
What if Riot's game drops?
Oh, my God. That is going to have the... If that is a true fighting game, and that comes out, and they make like a League of Fighters game or something like that, that may take over everything.
Yeah, I really hope not.
That could happen.
It could happen for sure.
It could have the publisher backing, you know what I mean? So
they got a lot of money, and they got a lot of people playing their current game. That's for darn sure.
Yep, that's right, Teak Lol. 2007 was 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That's why when I was talking about me playing Tekken 10 years ago, then I was like, actually a little bit longer than that. That was like 2004? Just like 13 years ago.
Oh,
boy. Yeah, maybe it was 2003 even. I don't know. It was quite a long time ago at this point. All right. Well, anything else to say about this?
I'll say the same thing I said on Twitter. It is an amazing time to be a fighting game player, and quite possibly the absolute worst time to be a fighting.
So much
because look, they're all gonna be great. I don't care what you guys say. I don't care what loyalties you have, and you're gonna be like, "This game's garbage. My game is the best." They're all gonna be great, and all of you are gonna be missing out on some amazing games.
Yeah,
like 100%, you are missing out on some amazing games by at least enjoy watching them. Like try to dude, like you know what? I still to this day know nothing about Pokken.
Oh, Pokken's a good game.
I have the game. It's still
right.
sealed
Pokken.
upstairs.
Yeah.
I never opened it. I never played it. I still have no idea what's going on when I watch it. I just never had the time to learn it.
It's a good game, man. I really feel like that's one of the more underrated games that have come out in the last few years.
I agree. It makes me sad. It makes me really, really sad that I never learned that game.
Yeah, it was definitely fun.
Oh, man.
People are still playing it, too. It's not dead.
Yeah, for sure. So...
Yeah, the netcode was ridiculously good.
Your game is over. Want to find a new match? Yes, 10, 9. You found a new match.
That's really how it was. Yeah. Alrighty.
Okay, we'll be right back, guys. We'll be right back.